All right, guys. So sometimes I feel bad responding to low-hanging fruit from random people on TikTok, but sometimes the stuff that they say is just so crazy and so outlandish and so out there that it deserves a response, right? You have to respond to it and give a counter argument, okay? You just have to. But before we get in there, I just want to remind you guys that, hey, I am facing some YouTube censorship. I just received a strike on my channel, and it is at the point now where I'm not entirely comfortable being on the platform, without feeling like they can just yeet me at any time. So with that being said, if you guys want to support, please do, feel free to, support the merch, the Patreon, the PayPal, links in the description. I will be posting videos to other platforms like Rumble, and kind of expanding my reach and diversifying out of YouTube just because of the censorship ratcheting up here on this platform. So with that being said, again, if you want to support, feel free to do so. And let's go ahead and get into this video. Now, this girl is gonna make the argument that she's not convinced that being healthy is a good thing. Okay, the act of trying to be healthy is a good thing. She actually argues that this is what she calls fatphobic, ableist, and capitalist. Very capitalist. Take a look.
Okay, so if you can show me someone who goes to the gym and like works out and like cares a lot about like their health, who doesn't have orthorexia or some other form of eating disorder, or who doesn't like do this because of like deep-rooted internalized fat phobia and just like hatred for fat people and disgust for fat people, then I will believe that health culture, like being healthy, isn't always bad. But until I find that person, until I find someone who goes to the gym and like cares about their fucking fitness and whatever, and doesn't hate fat people, doesn't equate fitness to health, and doesn't have an eating disorder that they pretend is just like gains, then I'll change my mind. This is all to say that I think gym culture, diet culture, health culture, fitness culture is inherently fat phobic, ableist, and like capitalism, like very capitalist, very colonial.
Okay, so basically, according to this girl's argument that I had to listen to like 1,000 times in order to fully grasp what she was trying to say because it was so ridiculous. Basically what she's arguing is that if you go to the gym and you care about your health, you do things like, you eat your fruits and vegetables, you don't eat more calories than you burn throughout the day, you do cardio, you do all these things to take care of yourself. You're not doing it because you actually really care about your fitness, right? That's not the reason why you're doing it. You're doing it because you either have an eating disorder, which is orthorexia, which is what she pointed out, which apparently is an eating disorder associated with eating healthy foods, right? Always been obsessed with eating what you define as healthy, okay? Or you're fat phobic, right? You either have an eating disorder, right? Or you're fat phobic. You hate fat people, which is why you don't want to be fat, right? It's simply because you hate fat people. Right? It's not because you want to live longer. It's not because you want to look better. It's not because you want to feel better. It's not any of that. It's simply you either have an eating disorder or you're fat phobic. Right? Bruh, this right here, again, this is one of the most ridiculous arguments I've ever seen in my life. And this is why I felt the need to respond to it. It's almost like these people, they just simply feel like, well, I don't want to feel bad about my lifestyle, right? I don't want to feel bad about the fact that, I'm overweight or that, I'm not necessarily doing things that society sees as good for you, right? I'm not doing those things. So therefore, everybody else who does do those things, they must be doing them for bad reasons, right? They're not doing them for good reasons, right? There's this ulterior motive, okay, that comes from a place of some type of disorder or hate, right? That's what she's saying. And it's so crazy because the mental gymnastics will lead somebody to conclude that being healthy is bad, not because being healthy in and of itself helps you live longer, you get better health markers, you look better, you feel better. No, not that. It's bad because it's done out of hatred, right? That's what this person is arguing, okay? Because that's why she says you have to show me somebody that actually really cares about their fitness, that's not fat phobic or doesn't have an eating disorder. As if it is impossible. It is impossible to actually care about fitness and health if, you know, it doesn't come from a place of hatred of other people or hatred of being fat, right? And here's my thing. Even if what she's saying is true, right? Let's give it to her. Let's say that, hey, people want to be fit because they hate fat people or being fat. Well, is that necessarily a bad thing considering the health issues and health consequences of being overweight / obese, right? Because there are some things that actually are worth, you know, not liking, right? It is worth not liking being fat, right? It is worth not liking being unhealthy and being inactive. That's actually worth it, right? That's actually something that's worth speaking out against because we know for a fact all the negative health consequences associated with it, right? Like, I mean, a majority of people's illnesses are associated with their lifestyle, right? There's some people that just get the ish end of the stick, right? They just get unlucky genetically. But for the most part, your health outcome is associated with your environment, aka your lifestyle, right? So is it a bad thing for people to be that way, right? To say, hey, you know what? I don't like being fat, right? Is that a bad thing? I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Even if it doesn't really necessarily have anything to do with their health or fitness, they just don't like the look of being fat or whatever, or just the concept of being fat. That's actually a good thing, right? Because that means people will live longer, statistically speaking, and have a better health outcome, right? But again, allegedly, according to this person, that makes you fat phobic, ableist, which means that you have some sort of discrimination against disabled people, capitalist, right? I don't really know where she gets that from or what this has to do with capitalism, right? And colonial. And again, I don't know what that has to do with that either, right? It's almost as if these people just throw out these words, right, that they feel have negative connotations and they associate it with things that they don't like, right? Regardless of whether the things they like are actually good or bad, they just don't like them. So therefore, it's capitalist, right? It's colonialism, right? Right? That's what it is. Okay. You know, it kind of reminds me of when, you know, Ibram X. Kendi made the argument that white people adopting black kids is a form of like colonialism, right? That's just, you know, white people basically using black people as pets, right? As artifacts. Okay. It can't be because you actually care about the person and that you want that person to have a better life and that you want to, you know, take care of that person. It can't be that, right? It can't be some good motive. It always have to come from a motive of hate, right? Or something that is negative, right? Even if the action in and of itself is good, the intent behind it is always bad, right? According to these people, right? Do you guys understand where I'm coming from with this? It's almost like you can't do anything good simply because you're a good person or that you care about what you're doing, right? It has to be from a place of hate. In this person's situation, you know, I think that she is just, you know, not happy with her situation, right? And the fact that society is not accommodating to people like her. And therefore, because society is not accommodating to people like her, especially, segments of society that are tailored towards fitness and health, they're bad people, right? They're bad people. She doesn't necessarily need to change her lifestyle. Everybody else just needs to stop being healthy, right? That's what needs to happen according to her. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.